It is very important to be yourself because I think that there's a trendsetter in you more than you know. So do you. Trust me, there's people who want to hear you.
From Tanzania's first MTV VJ to being named one of Africa's top female artists and notable philanthropists, Vanessa Mdee is the modern African woman, having it all and doing it her way. This is Vanessa's prototype. Who is Vanessa Mdee?
I find that question extremely weird. I find myself telling people what I do as opposed to who I am every time someone asks me that question.
Yeah.
So who am I? I'm a dreamer. I'm a mermaid. Would much rather live in the water than on land. I'm Tanzanian. I believe in women and girls. I love to feel positive vibrations. I believe in fair treatment. I love to write music. I love to learn. I am always traveling in my mind and in my physical state too. I love music, but I literally live music.
From a music front, how long have you been at it? Performing, writing?
It's funny you ask about writing. I used to write in a diary when I was younger every day of my life. So I've been writing for as long as I can remember. It was writing feelings. I wasn't writing music. So I still have actually all of these little diary entries with dates. First time I had sex, first time I got my heart broken, so I have these books. I even have a book, I have a story that I don't remember. I don't know why I don't remember it, but I read the entries. I was like, wow, I was so worried about the wrong things. But it's nice to date back to those. Then I stopped writing entries and I started writing poems. And I would consciously write poems in the middle of the night. Anytime something cool would come to me, I'd write it down. And I would I would write on, like, I have these books that are like little, like, daftari za kawaida, like normal books, like nothing fancy, nothing bedazzled. And now it's just little sheets of paper that I still like bind together. Yeah, it's like, so I started writing properly, like music. I think maybe when I was 14. I still remember the first song I wrote. I wrote it with one of my best friends in the world. It's a horrible song. Horrible. No structure at all.
First song usually is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so maybe when I was 14 and I continued and I still write. I'm still learning to write every day. And I started music professionally maybe 5 years ago, like my first release. But I believe that I've been in the music game for over a decade now.
I mean, you mentioned what I would call journaling, I guess.
Yes,
yeah,
that's it. Journaling.
That's amazing because I've been trying to get into that as well.
Oh, really?
And it's just crazy when you meet
amazing.
yourself in the pages. You're like, damn, I didn't know all that was in me.
In the pages.
Right?
That's a great statement.
But kind of how important has that been in your creative process generally?
It's very important. It's one of the most important parts of creating.
Okay.
If I find that people don't know how to express their feelings, and that's not a problem for me. I know exactly how to say what I feel. It's never an issue, and if I don't know how to say it, then I don't know how to feel it yet, or I haven't felt it to its full extent.
Well, it's like, thank God you started journaling because it's like, if we bring it into the future today, rather,
right.
It's like Money Monday's #1 album in East Africa,
you.
like highest sales.
Thank you.
So that's insane.
Yes, it's weird actually because when we released the album, we're like, we didn't care about the numbers. We didn't want it to be a numbers thing because we were already going against the grain. Albums are not doable in Tanzania. Why are you releasing an album? No one buys albums. The world is moving towards EPs and singles and da-da-da. And I'm like, I want to do an album. Why? Because it is my work. It is my full body of work. It is my resume. It's my presentation. I got tired of going places and people were like, oh, so do you have an album? And I would like twiddle my thumbs, a horrible feeling. So I said, I will do this album, and it can sell 1 copy or 1,000,000 copies. It is my album. And that's what it is. It's my album.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the crazy thing is sometimes when you're just honest with yourself, the fans really connect to that. They resonate with it, and they're the results.
I've actually realized that that's the only time fans connect with me. When I'm doing stuff that is slightly phony, you will see 0 hits to it. There will be no love. They can actually see. My mom says to me all the time, she's like, your honesty is in your eyes. Like, and I kind of wear glasses all the time because I know this very well. So my eyes are very telling of how I feel at all times. So I guess my music is very telling about how I feel too.
The windows to the soul.
Yes.
There they are.
Absolutely.
I feel you. I resonate with that too.
Yeah.
I guess I want to know, the process of coming up with an album is
Right.
insane. So I just kind of want to know what were some of the challenges you had to overcome in kind of doing that.
Number 1 challenge was getting over myself. I'm the type of person who lives in my head. I over-calculate, over-analyze, over-assess, over-criticize me all the time. So my music is never perfect, even when it's on radio. And I actually had this conversation with David Banner one time. And I know he's done so much and he's worked with some of the greats. He's a Grammy Award winner and so many accolades. And I said to him, how do you feel about your work when it's out? Because I feel this way. And he said, and that's fine. If you can feel 70% okay with it, then the 30% is obviously the demons, and that's fine. And nothing is actually ever perfect. So if it's perfectly 70%, you can be okay with it. And I was like, okay, coming from you, then that's fine. So that kind of really helped my journey a lot. I really needed to hear that from him, and that's been my play. Even with the album, I was like struggling with it to the very last. I was submitting it to the distributors, and they were like, V, we need it. I was like, oh, but I don't think this is okay. I don't think that sonically is advanced enough. I think that beat pattern is dated. I think, blah. I hear it now, and I still feel this way. So it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Wow, that's powerful. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of having a perfectionist syndrome a little bit.
Yeah.
But you've always got to leave some room for growth as well. You know?
Absolutely.
You touched on demons,
Right.
that 30%, the demons,
Yes.
the self-doubt.
Right.
What are some of your life hacks generally that you do, things that you do to kind of overcome that so you can perform at the level that you do?
Number 1, I had to teach myself to breathe again. Just general breathing. You know how you think you're breathing, but you're not? I'm that person. I used to take gasps. I'd go about my day like giving myself a panic attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to breathe, like take actual breaths. And I started to deep sea dive, and I noticed that underwater I didn't have my phone, I didn't have I couldn't talk to anyone, but what I had to do was listen to myself, breathe, and listen to my thoughts. So these are 2 things that I kind of had to learn how to do. I do it all the time. I'm a mermaid. I live in the water. I really do. I love the ocean. I'm diving maybe 2 times a month because of my schedule. If I could, it would be more. But underwater. So I have a swimming pool in my house, and I swim every day. And just because I want to breathe, I want to hear myself breathe full breaths. So that's something that I'm doing a lot. Another thing that I'm learning to do is say what I feel and say what I mean to people, because it is liberating for me. And I'm so politically correct all the time, because I don't want to offend anybody, but sometimes I've learned that that's freeing for me as well. So these are 2 things that I do deliberately now. So I don't know if that's helpful.
That definitely answered the question.
Okay.
I actually just wanted to touch on, because you mentioned that you're politically correct, and at the
Right.
same time you're an artist who's
Exactly.
been journaling,
Oh.
definitely in touch with with yourself.
Yes.
It's like, What advice would you give to artists who are trying to maintain their authentic selves,
Right.
but at the same time want to be accepted, want to do the numbers,
Yes.
and
I know the
be
feeling.
up there with the trend? So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give someone who's trying to find their way?
Number one, just be yourself. I know people hear this often, but it is very important to be yourself, because I think that there's a trendsetter in you more than you know. There's 7 billion plus people in the world. If you can captivate 0.0001%, that's enough for you to do a lifetime of gigging and celebrating and numbers, and you know what I mean? So do you. Trust me, there's people who want to hear you. Another thing is, fads come and go, you know? They're so deliberate. You understand? So what I did recently was to make deliberate, conscious moves. So don't hurt yourself when you want to do something for numbers. Say, this one is for numbers. And it's not you being ingenuine. It's you being deliberate. You know what I mean? So don't be mad if you're going to do this one song for numbers. It is a deliberate play. And then perform it, strip it all the way down. Your heart is still there. So that's the trick.
I know you're a supreme creative, multi-hyphenated person.
Oh, yes.
It's like, what impact do you want to have on the world? On Tanzania, on Africa, and then
And
the world at large?
I always say we are here for service. We're here to service God and our community. That's all we're here for. We're not here for anything. We always put ourselves on pedestals and think that our job here is something. No, it's not. We are here to service God and our community. And service to community is to give. If it's giving in music, if it's giving in whatever it is that you're passionate about. If you're really giving yourself, I kind of sign out in all emails, and I got it from my brother Omari, shout outs to him. I always say giving my all, because I'm really giving my all. If you are giving your all, then that is the purpose of your life. And that's how the universe is going to work for you. There's a ripple effect and everything. And you'll just feel like you're lighter about shit, because you're not being a phony. And guess what? You're servicing the community. And that's it. That's the goal. You know, rehearsal is my favorite part of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've never
Favorite
heard
part
that
of the
before.
show,
Oh,
yes.
I thought it's like when you get done.
No,
and- okay.
rehearsal is my favorite part of the show, because it's imperfect. It's like the pregame. You know what I mean? It's so much more fun. On stage, obviously, we're doing everything that we need to do to deliver, but that's when you get actually the best sound bites. So.
If you could summarize your life or who you are in one sentence, or if there was a quote that you live by,
Oh, yes.
what is that?
It's, if not now, when? If not me, who? I actually have it tatted on.
Sick.
It's a constant reminder, because I just don't believe in like procrastinating. I just want to do it now. I want to do the greatest, baddest shit now. All of it. So if not now, when? If not me, who? Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much
you.
for the time. I'm excited.
All
I'm
the
going to give you one of
best.
those. I'm
Yes,
excited.
I'm excited
And
to
we'll
hear
catch
you play
later.
too.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Vanessa.
No problem.